Michiko and Hatchin, Episode 9, The Chocolate Girl in Love. Initially, when I saw the title for this, I definitely thought it was about Michiko, but this episode was all Hatchin, and that was actually kind of awesome. I really enjoyed that, and it was something that I thought might happen based on the last episode with the characters being split up. But it was really cool. It was fun to see Hatchin have her own episode and just live her life, really, and it wasn't really like a super funny episode. Like, there were some moments that were kind of funny, like the nerdy boyfriend of the girl. But other than that, this was actually a pretty dramatic episode with Hachin just kind of living life and growing up a little bit as a character and getting a new friend who is this girl that's in love with someone much older than her. And it's like she has to, by the end, grow up to the point where she realizes that I may have felt this way, but sometimes you just have you feel that way and you just have to be okay with it and love that person enough to feel that way but still let them move on. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool watching Michiko or watching Hanchin go through this episode and experience that type of stuff, and also just experience her life on her own. And there's like the only real nod to Michiko was when Hanchin actually looked at the note from the last episode, and that was really it. Other than that, it was strictly this story right now, no callbacks, anything else, or anything like that. Aside from the fact that the one woman that the guy ended up having a kid with, that he's with, she did kind of remind me of Michiko a little bit with the long hair and stuff. But that was really it. Like, I don't think that was really on purpose. They just drew that character because most of the characters in the show are dark skinned characters. But I definitely enjoyed it. Like, there wasn't. It was one of those episodes that kind of just flew by, and it was like, holy crap! It was like just just watching the episode, it was just like very normal, just watching them go through things, and it obviously had its own story, and the girl had her emotional moments, like when the statue was replaced, and she was kind of heartbroken, and she freaked out because she wanted her wish to come true, and she felt that if the statue's gone, then there's no chance of that even remotely happening, even if she didn't really believe it. And when she talks about it with Hachin in the beginning of the episode, she still goes for that because it's her last ditch effort. Like, that's all she has to get this guy to stay with her and be in her life because this is who she's always known. And it was just interesting to watch that character kind of develop just all in this one episode. It was a nice little moment. And I'm excited to see where the show goes with Acha not being a part of this circus, and what she's gonna do also is really what I'm curious about. Like, what's she gonna do in this circus? Because she doesn't exactly have all these amazing skills or anything. I doubt she's gonna be the one, twisting and flipping off of the ropes and stuff, which is really cool. Just watching that in itself, I was like, even though this is solely animated, that was actually really cool. Just looking at that was a nice little scene at the end, and I was kind of wondering if she'd fall off, and fortunately, she did catch herself, and it was just a nice, cool little thing. But it was actually really fun to watch that ending scene, and it was just nice. And she was able to grow up in that little moment. Like, this is kind of what I do, but I don't really need him to do it. I can just do this because this is who I am, and I don't have to. Excuse me. I don't need him to be who I am, and I thought that was a nice little developing moment for a young character that had fallen in love and didn't really comprehend the true concept of exactly what it is. Like, she did, but at the same time she didn't really understand, like, the whole age difference thing just was a huge factor. So I loved seeing that. It was just like a minor little thing, but it was very well done. And this was like in all in I don't know, in the only way that I can really think of it, like, of all the words, the only one that really comes to mind is like, this is like a subtle episode, and it's just that things just happen. It was almost like a slice of life type of episode, which I guess technically most of them are. I didn't expect that to go off, but I guess most of them are. But it was just really well done. I was like, this was just fun to watch, and it had, like I said, its comedic moments, like Hachin dealing with the boyfriend, especially when he found out that she was a girl. The little argument was funny, and then him being like, I'll get you any food you want. You just talk me up to her. And then she left, and I was like, when she was walking back, I was like, I hope she smacks him because it would be funny. And she just hits him in the back of the head, and it was really funny to me. It was just like, she hit him and left, and also the way he was like, ow, it was just like super nerdy and stuff. They just played up the nerdiness of the character. It was just really funny. But she just slaps him and just takes off, and it was just like, that was just a funny moment that I enjoyed. But overall, it was fairly dramatic and serious, and there wasn't like, it's not super deep, so there's not much else I can really say. But I love this episode. It was a nice one. it does introduce a character. Who knows how long she'll really be in the show, but Hatchin does ask to go with them, through the circus. So she'll be with them at least for the next episode. We didn't get like any of Michiko, so maybe that's what'll happen in the next episode. Which, I mean, if it was a Michiko only episode, it would kind of seem like a normal episode because that's kind of how a lot of episodes are with her being. Even though they're in the title, it's obviously Michiko has like the most importance. And the last episode was kind of a Michiko only sort of episode, really, especially the second half. It was really just her doing the train game, except for when she actually saw Hatchin on the other trolley, and that was it. But like that whole second half of the episode was pretty much straight up Michiko. Most of the first half was only about Michiko as well, except for the scene with Hatchin when she heard the random guy talking about how he was, Satoshi, like the fake Satoshi. And that was really it in that episode as well, and her actually looking at the letter sort of halfway through. But that was it. Like, that was, there wasn't much of her at all in the last episode. So if we got another one of those, I wouldn't hate it in any way. I'm sure it would actually be even funnier, and it would be the more comedic side, because that's just how, Michiko is. And it will probably have a little bit of action in there, depending on where she is at this point and who she's trying to get in touch with, if she does end up meeting with Satoshi or not. But it would be cool to see her. I mean, she wasn't really in this one. I mean, there was the note. I forgot that she was on the TV. They did have the news report. So those were really like the only two callbacks. So we did technically see her outside of the opening, of course. But it was a really nice episode. I'm excited for the next one. I don't know if it will switch back and forth between them, or if we will get in the next episode they do actually end up meeting. So it's not, we got the Hatchin episode this time. The next one's Michiko. And then it goes back and forth for maybe a couple more episodes. I feel like if it does, it'll probably be the next episode will be Michiko only, and maybe, her obviously looking for Hatchin. And then after that will be both sides of their stories, where either they come together or they're still separated, but we still get to see what both of them are actually doing. Because I'm sure it won't keep this for too long, where it's like focused on only one of the two. And even if it's only focused on Michiko, Hatchin will still be like the big part of it, because that'll be the main story. Coming from Michiko's side of things is her looking for Hatchin, and with Hatchin it's really like anything could happen if it's only focused on her, because she's not even, she thought about Michiko, but really she's just kind of trying to survive with no money and stuff. So I'm excited to see where things go. Enjoyed this one, like I said. Of course, I want to know what you guys thought about it though, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and the biggest question really is, what did you guys think of this first solo Hatchin episode? Because it reminded me of the other episode when they were in the other town and the woman ended up being killed off because of her sister. It reminded me of that, but it was kind of obviously not as sad, because I was, that was kind of not a crappy ending, but it sucked that happened, that she died like that. But it reminded me of that, where it started off like it was kind of silly and funny, and like, they were making the joke about Hatchin, how she kind of looks like a boy and stuff like that. But then it became serious. It became about the young girl being in love with this person that she can't really be in love with all of her life. And it became like very serious, and her growing up and stuff. And Michiko, or Hatchin, I keep saying Michiko just because I'm thinking of the title. Every time I start, I'm like, Michiko and Hatchin is in my head. But it's like Hatchin kind of growing up and helping this other girl grow up as well. So I really enjoyed it. But like I said, I want to know what you guys thought about this one. So please comment below, let me know. And thanks for watching.